for the scene. And this team with Fenrir and FY and ROTK kind of making a splash is really cool as well. And seeing them both at the major is going to be awesome as well. I think that NP definitely has some really high skill players, but I think they're missing something. VGJ still not really all together as a team quite yet. We were a little bit disappointed in their group placement or their group standings because they were in Group A, arguably the easier group, and Empire came out with that second seed behind OG. So we'll see if VGJ turns it up in the lower bracket. I think that they have very high expectations of themselves.
Yeah, we'll see if they can live up to those expectations or if NP can play spoiler. Early awards placed out across the map. You can see one down there by the cliff of Radiant that's going to give some pretty good vision. And it seems, do you think you can go in and try and contest the same way that we saw last time with VGJ, or just trading off those runes pretty? There's
no wards on the opposite side of the river, so it's really hard for you to tell what's going on. So it's difficult for you to walk uphill. You could easily, you start walking across the river, and if you're going uphill, you could walk into 3 or 4 heroes. You really don't know. So it's a little bit dangerous, and I think that they're both just, they'll both settle for their own bounty runes this time around.
And you look at this too. We have Aoi down in the bottom lane. It looks like they're going to try and go with an aggressive movement here, at the very least. But VGJ already signaling this. They send the Abo down bottom.
Yeah, and this is something NP really likes to do. They're always super committed to trying to win 3 lanes. It's pretty much the core of their strategy. They don't really kind of sack MSS very often.
Well, we were talking also during the draft at the very beginning, and we saw the Storm Spirit pick into the Silencer. And you said that you didn't really think it was that big of a problem. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more, what your thoughts are here?
Storm Spirit's a hero that likes to jump in. He's actually a hero that can, with Storm Spirit plus an Infest Bomb, they could just go on the Silencer.
Okay.
And without Dazzle might be able to save him, but it's not so bad. Silencer's more of a hero that they'll try and pair it with the Legion Commander duel, so that way no one can help the people. Oh, actually top.
Up top. They're going to be able to go on a 1437, bringing him low. That is going to be first blood. Aggressive picks it up. That's a great way to start for VGJ.
Getting a little bit too aggro in these duel lanes. NP choosing a 2-1-2 setup, and VGJ kind of committing to the tri-lane. And Monkey King tri-lanes are nothing to joke about.
Absolutely. He's a monster. FY in the mid lane so far, pretty even across the board in CS. It does still sort of come up with a bit of a problem in the laning stage for Freeze, right? It feels like Eternal Envy is just getting so much free harass in here.
Silencer is a tough matchup for pretty much anyone, I think. The Glaives, being able to orb walk as a mid laner. A lot of orb walkers don't really get picked anymore. It's kind of like, like Silencer and Clinks? And I'm trying to think of another
Jakiro?
Yeah, Jakiro, I guess. With the liquid fire every once in a while, but yeah, orb walking is pretty annoying to deal with for a mid laner, but Storm will be able to fall back into the jungle and farm a lot faster than Silencer will during the early to mid game.
Okay, well, Monkey King getting pushed out a little bit here by MSS. 1437 in the area, getting a pull off as well. Actually jumps onto the tree. As he landed, it broke, and now it's going to be a stun onto FY. And it almost is going to bring him down. MSS, a little bit of the movement speed advantage. They're going to keep the pressure on. Oh, just barely able to get away.
Fly
FY.
away, Monkey King. Fly away.
What a hero.
You'll never catch me. Better hurry up, man.
Yeah, Dazzle's on top of him, but he can still just keep the movement on. Tango's a tree. He wasn't sitting on that one like we saw last time, but we'll be able to make that movement in towards mid now and maybe apply a little bit of harassment onto Envy.
Space created.
Yeah. So early on, Storm Spirit just a little bit behind the Silencer, although there's 6 denies coming out from that Silencer. As far as all of the lanes go, actually, it looks as if it's fairly heavily into the favor of VGJ outside of that one particular lane. Do you think that they need to be at all concerned about the Legion's lack of farm here?
The Legion will catch up. Now that we see Monkey King kind of roaming around, it's going to free up Legion to really CS a bit more. It was he did kind of chase the Monkey King there, trying to make something happen, so that was a bit unfortunate for him. Would have been a nice kill for him, but he'll catch up. I'm not worried about MSS. He always finds a way to find some farm.
Okay. There is a pretty big creep wave pushing in here, so Aggressive going to get a lot of farm. And now this movement in towards the mid. FY wants to find a way in on top of the Silencer. And maybe with Envy very far forward, they can do it. Thinking about going for the courier, but instead just rotate in towards mid. There's the crush. The counterplay onto Freeze. Actually, Envy going to get stunned from far away. Getting up close and personal, but Freeze goes down first. They take down VG as well. So 2 go down for NP, only 1 for VGJ.
Yeah, nice kill. Both really had the same idea to gank mid there, but VGJ brought bigger numbers, and they also had the tower to help them out with a couple hits. So 2 kills for VG. I think it actually benefited them quite a lot. Getting those early kills on your support heroes, especially Crystal Maiden, a hero that's very level dependent, especially in the early game, is huge. And we've seen Monkey Kings that have picked up a couple early kills, really kind of, you know, get that early phase boots, finish their PMS, also have the Orb of Venom, and they're a huge threat, you know, into that like 5 to 10 minute mark.
Yeah, something that I've heard a lot from different people is that this is a hero that doesn't farm very well, the Monkey King, but if you're able to get involved and make those kills happen, you can snowball from there, and even just applying pressure onto the Dazzle constantly when he wants to get these pulls off.
Those early game items really enable you to kind of abuse other heroes that don't necessarily have like the items and levels they need to defend themselves.
Okay. Well, Abaddon topping the CS charts right now at the beginning. You can see, though, that ROTK under heavy fire, and, well, they are going to be able to punish him in spite of that high CS. Aoi picks up a kill for himself.
Yep, nice play by SVG, level 3.5 on the Slardar.
I thought that they were going to be going for trying to break down that tree there, but the jump in, boundless strike jump is going to come out as well. Connects onto 2. They're starting to stack up the damage. Grape comes out on a 1437. Press the attack to take off and make a little bit of a movement speed advantage for him, but they still will fall to the Crystal Nova. MSS trying to salvage something, but there is no chance for a counter kill. Strong lanes for VGJ.
Yeah, absolutely. Monkey King, super strong laner. We talked about, or the panel talked about VGJ kind of lacking in teamfight, and that's like definitely true. They gave up a lot of options for better teamfight to have kind of stronger lanes with the Monkey King and Crystal Maiden supports.
So would you say that right now this is sort of what we would expect, at least in the early stages, VGJ leading?
I think that they have better side lanes. I think the mid lane is pretty NP favored in terms of like 1v1, but Storm Spirit being able to fall to the, or like retreat to the jungle, he'll be just fine. Okay. So I think that if Vici can, you know, take an early game advantage, I think Vici's making a lot of great plays. So let's give them the credit that they deserve for like their early game movements. I think that they are doing a lot of things that are going to help them win this game.
Yeah. Well, Envy certainly off to a good start as well, and in spite of the greatness that's going on there, going down earlier on as well. But Aggressive has phase boots now, building towards that armlet. And this is somebody, as the name might suggest, definitely wants to get aggro in the early movements. Do you think that's something where you could go with like a level 6 Infest into the Monkey King?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's more likely that they'll make us play with the Storm Spirit when Lifestealer hits 6. That's the cool thing. That's the difference between Silencer and Storm Spirit this game, is that Silencer's going to get, or Storm is going to get level 6 and he's going to look to make a play on a lane, whereas Silencer doesn't really offer a lot of gank, or, you know, he can kind of a global silence and almost like counter initiate, but by the time Storm Spirit and Lifestealer get in, it might be too late.
Yeah, it's more dependent upon those other heroes to get that initiation. The Slardar gained a decently timed Blink Dagger as MSS is just going for a little bit of deforestation, hoping to get lucky, but will not find FY. Still going to be slowed and now looking to dive that, but as the TP comes out, well, 1437 getting gone on. Aggressive pops the rage, turns to fight. SVG is here, but will get frostbitten by Fenrir, and that should be the end of the engagement. Not enough movement speed. That's a lot of damage from MSS, though.
Gotta be careful. Leech Commander getting some levels. Dazzle is a tough hero to deal with when there's a lot of creeps in your lane.
They're constantly just chasing and trying to break down these cheese. FY is being a menace. And I think I just heard an Infest as well, as Aggressive used it to heal up a little bit, get himself a little bit of extra CS.
Oh, looks like they're trying to help Monkey King.
Now up their top, FY gonna get out, just barely. I believe there was a troll ulti popped as well for that.
Yeah, helping out his team. Also, you could put a little pressure on the Abaddon. It's a win-win.
So far, you can see that it's relatively even across the board as far as net worths are concerned. So what do you feel like is going to be one of the big tipping points here? Any level 6s that really, you know, change your mind a ton? We talked a little bit about the Lifestealer. Is there any sort of countermeasure that MP can put on?
NP doesn't really have a lot of great gank. They're very dependent on these Blink Daggers eventually coming out of Legion Commander and Slardar. So they're just probably going to sit back, kind of farm pretty slowly. And we talked about in the group stages, they like to play pretty defensively, and they like to react to what their opponents do rather than be proactive. So their draft is definitely set up for them to do that until they get those Blink Daggers. Then they can start being aggressive.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, Fenrir will be scouted out by this. I do believe that Sentry Ward is within vision, so they should be able to get the D Ward now. So denying a little bit of that vision away from the side of NP. And with those supports potentially rotating bottom, they could try and mount some pressure. But Aggressive has moved down here bottom as well. Kind of a hard hero to gank.
Yeah, absolutely. Lifestealer and like Juggernaut are two of these cores that are incredibly hard to gank. And Troll's got to be a little careful now.
I guess a quick Boundless Strike into a open wounds could spell his death. And
yeah, Troll matches up pretty well against Lifestealer, but if Lifestealer is the one playing aggressive, a lot of times Trolls use their melee whirling axes to give an opponent that mischance. But the Rage from Lifestealer will just take away that mischance, and he'll be able to do a lot of damage to Troll.
Interesting, too.
If they get into like a man fight, Troll will definitely out DPS the Lifestealer.
I think I saw there on that Lifestealer as well, going back for the Midas, it looks like, as opposed to going into the early Armlet. Do you like that decision? It seems a little bit different.
Well, I don't know. I don't necessarily know how I feel about it. It's a tough task for him to go Armlet and get a lot done in the early game, I think. So probably just building for late game.
Ooh, building for late game there. Trying to get himself into a situation where he can carry in the later stages at the very least.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, MSS up in the top. Still getting his farm on, waiting for any of those, but Freeze finds himself a quick pick, and that's going to be SVG going down.
He's getting a little greedy, going for that enemy bounty room. Pays the price.
Well, top lane, ROTK, ulti going to be popped. They do still have duel, thinking about going onto him now. This should be a duel win in just a second. Well, maybe not. Global Silence comes out. They aren't going to get the win, and they're not even going to get the kill onto him. Now Storm Spirit shows up, going to pop the Grave onto MSS, but should still be able to be ran down. I do believe stun is not going to come, but they have the damage with the Remnant.
ROTK did end up falling. I think it was either Poison Touch that finished him off, or it was like a last hit from a creep, and it gave Dazzler the kill. But yeah, Global Silence was kind of a waste there from Envy. I think maybe they just saw like something was happening top. There wasn't, all they were doing is just trying to kill Legion Commander, so.
I mean, that means that you can start to play a little bit more aggressive over the next couple minutes for VGJ as well, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a dead spell, at least for now. I think the Global Silence is going to come into greater effect once NP starts being able to initiate the fights with those Blink Daggers. But for now, you can kind of throw it out willy-nilly.
Okay. It's sort of like that Chronosphere last game.
Well, the Chronosphere, is ideal for securing themselves a kill. The Global Silence doesn't really secure you any kills unless you initiate first. So.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, up in the top lane, Troll going to pop ulti, try and bring down this tower at least a decent amount in terms of HP. But Abaddon is a hard hero to go up against. And guess what? He's going to go Midas too. I have a feeling we might see a couple more of these as the team's prepping up for the late game. Oh, Storm Spirit in the mid. They're going to be going on to Envy and find themselves a kill.
There's that Infest gank with the Storm Spirit. NP doesn't have a lot of great tools to deal with this until they come online. These Blink Daggers could not come any sooner for them.
I mean, this definitely feels to me like it's the pick-off-oriented lineup from VGJ versus NP, just trying to go into the late stages, winning team fights. So, I mean, it's feeling like a very dead moment right now for NP in general. How do you think you try and deal with this?
I think trying to predict your opponent's pressure and reacting with Dazzle and being able to potentially save someone is most likely their best kind of win condition, or their best condition to advance themselves in this game. They could also kind of group up as a team and just kind of maybe push a tower together. They don't necessarily have the blinks to initiate, but they might be able to just click the tower down with Legion Commander and Troll and Silencer.
Yeah, I guess you could already see Aoi doing that in the top lane, pushes the Abaddon out of lane as well. You now have the Legion Commander that's rotating up towards the top.
Yeah, it's too tough for them to split up. The Infest gank with Sorma is, it's too strong. They can kill anyone, so.
That was a sneaky little play there by FY, bouncing all over the place. But now the Troll ulti popped and Tier 1 gonna fall. No response for VGJ. And that's a pretty good win there for NP.
Yeah, VGJ wasn't in the best position to defend that, and they saw the commitment, both bringing, Silencer and Troll to the tower. It's a big commitment from NP, so it's not a huge loss for VGJ. But I think NP's got the right idea. Definitely grouping up, playing as a team until, take some towers, get your gold that way rather than trying to split the map and farm. I think that's just going to give opportunities for VGJ's kind of pick-off-oriented lineup to excel and grab some early game kills.
Well, it does look right now like VGJ getting into a position to defend at least, but MP is going to go right into Roshan. This is spotted out. This is a really bold move.
Very brave. This is a classic NV Roshan here. Not so sneaky, but just going for it.
Yeah, and VGJ in a position to think about contesting. All right, MP are going to back out.
It's a really tough fight for MP right now.
I guess that just forces the movement in from VGJ, and now NP can sort of back out, get their own farm.
Are they going to go for it?
All right. Dazzle Weave is popped. Owie walking in, wants to fight, manning up against aggressive, gets a bash there as well. Roche still down to half HP. They're going to use the last word on ROTK. Global Silence still in effect as well. There's no Blink Daggers yet, though, and Storm's mobility makes this incredibly hard.
All right, we're going to have ourselves a little standoff here for a second. Abaddon really needs to go heal, or he's going to Shrine.
This feels like just a lull in the action.
Yeah,
calm before the storm.
This is a dangerous spot for VGJ because they are, going for those Midases. They really are lacking the items that I think they might need to convincingly win this team fight. And NP gets an Aegis. They get a lot of gold from the Roshan, some experience. They can start really pushing towers, with the strength of that Aegis. And I think NP's definitely got the right idea. They need to punish these Midases somehow.
Yeah, and it's kind of an interesting little dynamic, too, because you just send the Slardar down to the bottom lane as Fenrir is going to deward this, and he's almost got his Blink Dagger done. So they can gear up for another round of pushing in towards Roche if they want, and they do take it incredibly quickly if they get a couple of seconds to their own.
Yes, definitely. Troll plus Amp from Slardar, they can put down Roshan super quick. But that Blink Dagger is going to allow them to really possibly take the fight that they want. It depends, of course, where Abaddon is and whether or not he's ready to react to the Slardar stun. He can kind of save any of his teammates if he's in the right position.
Well, Freeze up here in the top, just thinking that something might be going wrong for them. Monkey King in the mealtime, they did ping out that he was in the area, but FY is going to TP away as well. And with all these heroes TPing back home, this might open a little bit of an avenue for NP to walk towards that Roche if they want to.
Yeah, I was actually lying. They're going to global when Silencer goes in, so Abaddon can't really save anyone.
Okay.
Best case scenario for VGJ, I think they should hold buyback on their cores. And when that global comes out, have buyback ready for whoever they initiate on, and then be able to take that Roche fight.
Oh, the scan's so close to hitting. They're expecting right now, VGJ, that NP would be going for the Roche, and instead, NP are going to rotate in towards the jungle because they see that Abba, and they want to try and shut him down first. ROTK, but out to get gone on. SVG finds him. Owie's there as well. There is still a tier 1 tower to TP to, but it looks like VGJ not interested. They're just going to sacrifice ROTK. So a free pickup in 30 seconds with no Abba on the field.
Yeah, but VGJ is hitting both of the side lane towers. Not really too bad of a trade for VGJ. That was a smoke. They didn't really know where MP was, but as soon as they revealed themselves, they were ready to start hitting the mid tower. And it looks like they're going to take this top tower as a result.
Freeze is a hero or a player that the panel was talking about a little bit. Definitely the least known of the players on this team, and he's played this Storm Spirit time and again. Very knowledgeable. Oh, almost gets caught there by SVG, but he seems to have an affinity for it, and I feel like even though it was a little bit of an awkward matchup against the Silencer there, he's certainly played a good one so far.
Yeah, he's playing well. He's playing smart. Storm Spirit's early game is not easy nowadays, and he's starting to transition. We're getting to the 20-minute mark. He's almost got his Bloodstone. He's going to ramp up his farm here, and he's got Crystal, Maiden Aura as well to work with, so he could get really big this game. I was thinking about item choices for VGJ and the Abaddon with the Midas. He might go that like Midas. He is going the Midas Radiance build that we see, but hopefully I think Lotus Orb is a huge item for him at some point in this game.
Yeah.
They really need some tools to remove Global Silence.
On right now, just going balls to the wall. Freeze brown boots and a bloodstone. Doesn't get a whole lot more greedy than that.
That is the build.
I mean, do you have to go back for a Eul's Scepter now potentially on Storm Spirit to try and deal with that global, or you just keep up the aggression?
Lotus Orb would be fine on Storm as well.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, Aoi just hitting away at this tower. They're going to take it down, and that is 2 of the 3 tier 1s already out of the way for NP as they continue to mount up this early aggression.
Trolls really farm, but they're still, you know, they're putting some pressure on NP's tier 1s. Not the worst trades for them. They're not getting the towers, but they're close.
Yeah. And actually, Aoi just going to go all the way in. Why don't you? ROTK's there. Or is he going to end up getting caught out? Pops the ulti. That is absurd.
He didn't bash. In a best of 1, he doesn't bash.
Got to hit the bash key. Yeah, there were a lot of hits in there, too.
There was a lot of hits in there. I'm sure like the next hit on a creep he bashed or something. Poor guy.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, Sanji Nyasha completed. Mask of Madness, excuse me, Morbid Mask. We do also have the Blink Dagger that was just newly minted for the Legion Commander.
And it feels... Aoi's got one queued up as well.
Oh, all right. What do you think about the Troll Blink? Do you like it?
I'm sure it's fine. Any kind of initiations, he's got to follow up.
Well, this is the start of it now. Everybody's going to blink in on top of the ABBA. And ROTK was there a second ago, but now the tower's going to be gone too.
30-second cooldown on his ultimate there.
Troll's still one of those heroes that I feel like got nerfed pretty hard, but it's making a bit of a comeback here.
He's he's an anti-lifestealer.
Okay.
So, you know, we see a ton of lifestealer. We see lifestealers getting picked up in the first phase. You build your lineups to really work with Troll, and you know, he can definitely see some success. And like they were talking about on the panel, it's one of Aoi's favorite heroes. It's not like we see a lot of the teams playing it. He just seems to have some sort of preference towards the hero, and he knows how to, you know, take it to its max potential.
Well, the next round of movement comes in. There was a ward spotted that was placed down by NP. There's a sentry ward up there, although it does not look like VGJ have any interest in going in right now.
Yeah, free Roshan. NP's looking good. Troll Aoi is poised to, you know, be a huge force this game.
Oh, and this is definitely the type of NP that people were expecting to see at some point, and it's starting to show up now. Really good performance from them so far. For VGJ, though, what's the next play for them? I mean, you have this Aegis. You just need to try and hold the line to the best of your abilities?
It's really tough. They went for these Midases. Abaddon has no items. Lifestealer, he's got a couple items. Storm Spirit, you know, he's got Bloodstone and Treads. He's not really in fighting shape either. Right now, anybody who gets dueled is dying, and they need ways to remove Global Silence, and they need to potentially find a way to split up NP, but I don't think NP has any reason to split up, and they can push towers incredibly quick with Troll. So that's going to make VGJ kind of face them at some point.
Well, we did see in the last game a little bit of a comeback after all of the Tier 1 towers dropped down for LFY. Granted, they did end up going on to lose that game, but is this a lineup that you feel like VGJ can come back for? I believe the net worth lead right now, if we can take a look at it, is still relatively even. So do you feel like NP is that far ahead, or is it mainly just that they're going to be able to build on this tower lead that they've got?
No, I don't think they're that far ahead. I think it's just really obvious to see who has the better team fight right now. Okay. And VGJ is respecting that by not engaging. I think if they do try and defend that tier 2 tower with like everything they have and take a team fight, then they're going to lose that team fight, and NP's just going to take that tower anyways. So it's they gotta be careful about how they operate and how they decide to fight. Split pushing is a really great option for them right now until they get a couple more items.
So it's more about like.
You gotta find the right fight.
Gotta find the right fight.
Which is really tough to do right now as when NP's grouped up as 5, especially with Aegis and Global Silence at the ready.
Well, they are looking to pressure this Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. They've got good vision in the jungle, but immediately you see the response from VGJ. They're pushing out along the top. And it does look like they're actually gonna be moving back in towards the jungle and possibly smoking up themselves.
I'm not certain they're ready for this fight. We'll see how it goes. Solar Crest picked up Abaddon, you know, putting off the Radiance for now, getting another armor item. I like that. I really don't want to see that Radiance rush here. I think that's a little too greedy of them.
MKB, I believe, did get a basher in this time, so that's at least something to rest their head on as Lifestealer inside of Creep. Freeze gonna jump forward, pulls back alley, initiation.
On the fire.
They're there, they're on top of him. NB's gonna get force-tapped away, but getting bashed up now by the Monkey King. And it looks like NP is gonna be forced back.
They blinked out, but that was a nice fight for them there. Global Silence still at the ready, but all they used was the Monkey King cooldown. It's got a minute and a half, so it will take a bit. They won't have it for this fight if they choose to defend. But it looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, Freeze jumping in, aggressive. Not the best fight there for them as the crush hits onto ROTK. Ulti popped.
Wait for the duel and the global.
All right, we're seeing it. There's going to be the duel. Global Silence comes out as well, but they're actually losing this fight with the Legion Commander. Grave going to come out and keep MSS alive, but now Freeze is going to chase. Couple more right clicks is going to bring him low. Now they moved on, going to be able to catch another. SVD trying to create some separation. Hits a 4-person stun, but aggressive, still there on top of Owie. Freeze finds a double, now looking for SVG, going to be able to run him down as well. They're all over him, 3 dead.
Man,
NP.
16 Bloodstone charges now for Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit had a lot there. Put in some work.
Now he's building into that answer for the Global Silence as well. Has the Yule Scepter up very shortly. This is feeling like a turning point in VGJ finding answers for the NP team fight. Just wait for all those ultis to come out and then make the move.
I'm curious what happened there. Maybe Weave had worn off from a previous fight. It seemed like when Legion Commander dueled at Abaddon, Lifestealer was also kind of hitting him, and he, let's see, Weave's like half strength. He was just he took so much damage. I guess the tower was hitting him too.
Yeah. And I mean, you get the extra little bit of armor yourself, although there weren't many heroes from NP that were hitting VGJ.
Yeah, Silencer really wasn't standing and fighting. He was pretty low on mana. I don't know, huge fight for VGJ though. We saw the global and the Silencer.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah, we saw the dual and global combo, and we thought that VGJ wouldn't really have an answer for that, but they managed to survive it, and I think they went. NP kind of using dual and global to kill Abaddon is not too bad for VGJ, so they would much prefer that over going for like the Lifestealer or the Storm Spirit.
Yeah, we saw in that special, of course, the cheerleader captain, he takes him down and then cheers his team on. They'll take that win. Duel in the bottom lane. FY pops the ulti as well. This potentially could be another one. Eternal Envy ends up taking down aggressive,
he turned into a tree.
What?
No way.
Oh my God, they don't know.
It's yellow.
All right, they got him. They're on top of him now, but FY still going to get brought down.
It's too good.
So, they end up taking down the Lifestealer and the Monkey King.
SVG was like, where'd he go? His teammates were spamming ping. They're like, SVG, please. The tree does not have a yellow minimap icon.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's why you got the crush for, though, right? You hit a general area. You're sure you'll find him. I do really love to see those little jukes, though.
Yeah, well, I think he was just, I don't think he saw him at all. Like, he wasn't looking at his minimap, and he was still kind of staring at his screen looking for, wherever the Monkey King had maybe jumped into a tree or had escaped. And when he immediately glanced at the tree, he didn't really see him, so pretty funny. I like it. Little jokes, little goof.
Well, in the meantime, all this goofing around, Freeze has continued to farm himself up towards almost the highest net worth in the game, right behind that troll there. And this is a hero that we've seen time and again take over games with the Storm Spirit. Do you think that he has the potential to do that in this game, or is the disable from NP a little bit too much?
I think with Abaddon backing him up, he's got a lot more freedom to play aggressive.
Oh, well, Freeze able to dodge away, does not get brought down.
Wow, that was quite the reaction. He had to have caught a glimpse of Slardar or something there, because that was quick.
I mean, did SVG stun and he dodged it there? Or he just didn't end up hitting it? It looked a little bit.
I think he was like potentially just kind of zipping around to get this, get the overcharge for the
creep camp.
Yeah, for like killing the overload. Sorry. All right, thanks, Observer.
That's great.
Yeah. No, he wanted that to just kill the creep wave, and it just happened to be exactly when Sardar went in, and then Sardar blinked, and he saw that Storm Spirit was kind of zipping at the moment, so he waited a second on the stun, and Storm Spirit just kept jumping.
Yeah. So Abaddon, after finishing off that Solar Crest that you talked about, you liked it, helped him win that last fight, I'm sure. You also now build towards the Radiance, so that will be quite good for himself as well. I think for the Storm Spirit, I saw him building into a big item. Is that one going to be the Shiva's Guard next? So more armor for that Storm as well.
Yeah, armor is going to be huge for them in this lineup. You see Aggressive going for the Assault Cuirass as well. Is Abaddon still headed for that Radiance? I would love to see a Lotus Orb.
Yeah, he's got the Radiance queued up.
Radiance it is. Radiance isn't bad. The mischance will be very nice against the physical damage heroes of NP, as well as the Silencer. They're all trying to, you know, successfully land some auto attacks.
I mean, in my eyes, that says that ROTK wants to become a bigger factor, expecting the game to go later on.
He wants to go in and really force NP's hand in these fights. Like, you know, like we saw at that bottom fight, they kind of ended up, you know, proccing the bat and all of them. Poor Crystal Maiden here.
Yeah, this one hurts, and a quick dual win as well, up to 38 damage.
There you go.
Oh,
they're going for it.
They want a party. CM's gone, but the party's going to continue. The Yule Scepter lift off, take off the silence for the moment, but the Crush connects. Freeze in trouble. He's going to drop. Now looking for more ROTK. He's going to get ran down as well. They're in his face, aggressive, looking to try and turn this. And FY actually thought about going for the ulti there, turning it onto aggressive. Pops BKB. Howie continuing the chase. Rage is there.
Miss.
Can they find any way to catch him and run him down, though? Does not. Oh! MSS picks it up with the overwhelming odds.
MSS.
Said that with some conviction in your voice right there.
Yeah, he's my standout player for this team. I've been a big fan of MSS for a long time.
He's doing quite a good job on this Legion Commander. More often than not, I feel like it's those Beastmasters that I see him on, those types of heroes, occasionally Darkseer as well, but showing he has what it takes here. Ooh, quite close with that blink. Actually going to catch Bashlord, making up for the earlier stage, but Freeze is not going to fall.
VGJ getting a little sloppy. They're not as organized as I thought they were.
And they found FY now up in the trees.
The wrong tree.
Oh no. That'll happen.
I thought they saw him with that ward. Or I guess maybe that little vision there, they couldn't see if he went to the left or the right one.
Yeah.
Unlucky, 50-50. What can you do?
Or potentially just a misclick on the tree is another option.
Yeah.
These things happen in the high stress situations, as they will get a D ward now, knowing that there was one up there.
VGJ still really farmed on all three of their cores. Monkey King also pretty farmed as well.
Wow. Freeze still willing to go in for these as well, and Dazzle.
Making a grave off.
Bash, well, they take him down. FY able to find that. Wasn't able to quite get the grave off. And another ward taken down. So the vision across the map for NP is still quite good, but they're starting to lose a little bit of their grip on it.
Yeah, they've managed to take out almost all of VGJ's outer towers, and they've been placing wards on these aggressive pushes, and they've actually helped out quite a bit. But regardless, like the deep wards, they're nice, but they're not super helpful for NP because they're just 5-manning so much. So ideally, if they were like splitting the map and then VGJ was also splitting the map, they could go for some pickoffs. But it's pretty easy for VGJ to track kind of where NP is at because they're always kind of together.
It just feels to be have been an all-out assault on the early stages, and NP definitely pulling it back in and getting in the face of VGJ, but they still have to respect that Storm Spirit and the Lifestealer Bomb. As far as the next couple of fights and how you see them working out, we saw that one big group up in the bottom lane for NP, but then on the retreat, they kind of got shut down.
Roshan's going down quick. I think VGJ wants to defend.
Well, FY is there, has an Invisor and ready to go in. There's also an ABBA on the other side, diving in deep for this one. FY goes out with the Boundless Strike, but they do get the Global Silence off. That is going to be Freeze dead because of the Legion Commander, now chasing for more. Lifestealer under assault, going to get ran down. They're going to be able to get another big, bad Crush off. The CM ulti is pretty good, but it's not going to be enough, it does not look like. Oh man, 3 dead for VGJ. Aggressive, turning to fight. Blinked away from him though is the Troll Warlord, going into range for him. Still some good armor toggling there. And RTK doing his best in the mid lane, but it looks like it is going to be NP winning this fight and potentially going to be getting a full wipe as ROTK trying his best, but will not run down MSS.
That's a tough ask for them to initiate on Silencer like that, who's building very, very tanky. And for them to think that they can get that kill without Dazzle or Legion Commander reacting, That's a little too wild for me.
You felt like that was a little bit of a
They have two defensives. Like they have the press the attack from Legion Commander that's going to take Silencer out of any disables, allow him to get off his global regardless. And then they also have the Shallow Grave, which is going to save him. And you know he actually got up to the shrine after the Shallow Grave, healed up to full, and a huge fight for MP. Not only do they win that fight 5-0, but they also get Roshan, and they're poised to go high ground here. And Abaddon's not up for 30 seconds, so I think they're going to get a set of racks.
Just a bombardment of right clicks coming in from NP. The minus armor that you have there, the duel that's been so effective at shutting down the Storm Spirit, and that's not to mention the global silence. This is what the panel said could always happen, and now they're making it work. Freeze, you got to be careful there, buddy.
Crystal Maiden has been so underwhelming this game. Like, just kind of like zero impact. I know they haven't been like team fighting very much, and it's been very split up, but I feel like he's kind of just been a walking aura. And it's no fault to Fenrir. I mean, Fenrir is not playing the hero incorrectly. It's just that hero just is sometimes just not too strong.
And to me, again, it feels like NP is really doing the best to stick together, not get caught out. Even there by the shrine, they weave up beforehand to make sure that if there is a fight, they're still ready for it. And while you do have this Abaddon Radiance completed, I'm sort of wondering at this stage, with BKBs online on a couple of the cores for MP, how effective is this going to be?
I was never, like I said, I thought Lotus Orb was the item. I think that they need ways to deal with global silence, ways to help out with the duel, ways to help out with this like hard initiation of NP. I think Lotus Orb would be a great option for them. Somebody gets dueled, Abaddon can Lotus Orb himself, and you know he can start pumping shields and heals into them, or he can Lotus Orb, he can Lotus Orb the Storm, take off the Slardar amplify damage, and really help him out. But we saw in that fight, Storm Spirit got dueled, Silencer got saved, he global, they couldn't help Storm. Storm died. He didn't buy back, which I was really surprised. He had buyback. He had like a 35-second respawn timer thanks to Bloodstone. But he kind of just watched his team just die one by one after he went down. I think he really wanted that Shivas, which he does have now.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that it does still feel like with that, you have a little bit of the better vision as soon as you initiate to maybe find that silencer in the fight and go for the big play. They just don't have like that normal big team fight hero from ROTK though. We were talking during the draft if maybe like Nyx was going to be an answer. The Magnus obviously banned out in the very early stages of the draft, but now their high ground defense just feels so inadequate for what they need.
Yeah, I think the Monkey King ultimate actually does provide a little bit of team fight.
Okay.
It's, with the Basher, he kind of pretty much is like a guaranteed stun on everyone that's inside the circle. So, here we go.
Yeah, they're going to be on top of ROTK. A couple missed chances in there, but already being brought down very low. FY has to jump out of his perch for the moment. God, this damage coming out. The Scotty on Troll Warlord is just so hard to deal with.
Stacked. He's stacked for sure. They need to try and like ignore him and disable him with like Crystal Maiden or something.
Likewise, though, you do have getting ready to jump in at the drop of a hat. MSS who has also been able to build up a good bit of net worth for himself. Blade Mail done.
They're in a real tough spot right now. I feel like they need to initiate and kill Dazzle and Legion Commander at the same time. And I don't know if their lineup is capable of doing that.
So Dream Fight, you have the Monkey King ultimate comes out, Storm jumps which one, Dazzle or the Silencer?
I think you jump the Dazzle and you kill the Dazzle, and then something magically happens to the Legion Commander. He spills his water on his keyboard, or I don't know, he has a anxiety attack or something. I don't know what happens, but something awful happens to Legion Commander.
So psychological warfare is the answer for VGJ at this point. Well, there's an initiation that comes out. Owie forced back. Just walk aggressively in their direction. I'm sure it'll be fine. No, it is quite a tough one. And I mean, Dazzle with the Solar Crest too. Jump forward, crush, Troll ulti popped. ROTK, his ultimate's gone as well. Age is still in hand.
All right, so if they can bait the press the attack, then they can have the opportunity to go on the Dazzle and kill him.
Okay.
That's an option as well. So maybe if they see that press the attack, they can force press the attack by going on Troll, and then they could potentially go on Dazzle. Like, now go Dazzle.
All right, they're thinking about it. SVG, they pop Rage on aggressive. Freeze instead, decides going to the Troll. There's going to be the duel onto the Lifestealer, bringing him fairly low. The Grave has already come out, saving Aoi 2000, and now turning onto that Legion Commander. MSS is down. They've already taken down SVG as well. So with the Aegis now down, this is an opportunity to go in as well. They're bringing down Troll, starting to take him low. The CM ulti, they managed to find a kill. The crowd, the adoration, it's coming out live. They've been able to take down 1437 as well. MSS, is he scouted in the trees? Is he really in there? They don't spot him. Oh, MSS, the trees are there. Do they take him out? Oh, they get the lift up at the last second.
He's pretending to be Monkey King.
Monkey King cosplay out of the Legion, but what a great fight for VGJ.
Yeah, the Troll was just way too far in. They managed to like pull him back behind the barracks with the Storm Spirit, and Crystal Maiden had a huge ultimate.
It's to the tune of 31,000.
He dueled the Lifestealer,
yeah.
and Lifestealer did not die. Look how tanky he is, and he's lifestealing the whole time.
With Blade Mail on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. I mean, that's the thing, I guess, is that if you get him high enough level, enough net worth on this guy, he did end up dying in the end, but I think you take those. Definitely.
Yes, just the casual channeling of the ultimate. Crystal Maiden. Not actually, I was wrong. It wasn't the biggest Crystal Maiden ultimate, but yeah. he did his part.
Does it bring back good memories?
Well, when I was playing, Crystal Maiden really wasn't in the meta, and it was a hero that you picked because you wanted to play it more so than it actually being a good hero.
Okay.
So, one of my favorite heroes to play in pubs. You know, for whatever reason, she's kind of just the bae, I guess.
I love that. It's appropriate that you're saying that in an MP match as well, I think.
Why, she's like the waifu, the anime princess?
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Seems good. So VGJ grouped up together again now. Off the back of that solid team fight, can they start moving in, make aggressive movements themselves, smoke up, find NP?
They still need to be really careful how they take their team fights. It was a very opportune kind of situation for them because they had eyes on all of NP, and they could really plan their team fight and kind of bait out a lot of spells out of NP because NP was committed to trying to hit the buildings. So NP was overexposing themselves at the risk of taking the barracks and taking a big objective in the game. In a head-on team fight, kind of out in the jungle where they're all just kind of fighting each other and not trying to hit the buildings, it might be a little bit tougher.
Wow, and I mean, NP feeling very bold right now. They're just gonna target.
This is such an NP thing to do, man. Like, this is the stupid stuff that NP is just like, yep, let's smoke and backdoor this barracks. We have the damage. I mean, I don't know if it's a good play or a bad play, but it's an NP play, and it's something that Merlini talked about it. It's an eternal envy thing, and you gotta love it.
Yeah. Absolutely. The antidote to or the cause of success. One of those two. But in the meantime, Aodon going back for the Octarine core, almost has it completed. This is starting to turn into one of those Avas that's really hard to deal with. And thinking about that level 25 that comes online, it's pretty good.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain that Lotus Orb is the item over Octarine. Like, I was fine, like, I'm fine, like, being wrong with, like, him going Radiance, and I think Solar Crest was a really good, like, intermediary item for him. Mm-hmm. But I think the Octarine's too greedy, and sure, like, it lowers your cooldown on Mistcoil and Aphotic Shield, but if you're Global Silence, you're not casting either of those.
Right. So what are you losing, then, by not going that Lotus Orb? And what are you sort of gaining for him by virtue of picking up the Octarine?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the scariest part of the team fight is during Global Silence for VG. And if he had an ability to remove Global Silence, that's one less thing he has to worry about. Also, it's just a good item. You can reflect spells. It gives armor. We're dealing with like an entirely physical damage team. Yeah. I don't know. It makes a lot of sense to me, but we'll see how it goes. They seem to be winning team fights without it, or at least like matching up pretty well. But it's a best of one. Maybe he'll have some regret.
All right, fair enough. And I'm looking at this too, and to me, it's felt like the Monkey King ultimates have really been that factor to turn the fights.
FY is doing a lot of work, and he's getting really farmed as well.
Shadow Blade going back into the Deso now. They've been trading around that gem between him and ROTK from time to time. just to de-ward whenever they need to. And now you look across the map, and NP don't have any wards on the Radiant side of the river.
Yeah, Monkey King's a pretty good hero against Silencer. He really doesn't care about global too much. He kind of just casts his ultimate, and that's kind of that. And then he just auto attacks, and then when the global's over, he'll use his stun.
Yeah. The Orchid.
Okay, Orchid picked up.
He already had that really great answer for the global as well in the Eul's Scepter, so.
Yeah, Eul's works. It's the cheaper version. You know, it costs 3K instead of 4K, instead of Lotus Orb.
Ooh, and I don't know if NP realized this. VGJ moving in, the tier 2 tower.
NP knows. They're getting up on the high ground. They're on their shrine. It's not where they want to fight.
They go in, check Roshan. It's a long respawn timer, about the longest they could have, but.
Oh, hey!
ROTK.
How's it going? I'm here, guys. Radiance, Solar Crest, Abaddon are ready to fight.
Yeah, they don't want any of that mess. They're going to back out now further. I think they were expecting the fight by the Roche pit, expecting that VGJ was in there, but.
Yeah, they really had no idea exactly where they were at. NP's lacking a lot of the wards we talked about them having earlier.
SVG almost able to catch there on the Storm Spirit, but he does zip away. Again, Freeze having himself a nice game. I think as far as Freeze's death and kill score has looked so far, he's had himself a really decent time. I mean, 3 deaths on a Storm, sometimes that can mean that you fall out of ability to do anything, but he's still managed to have impact.
Can we check out the buyout situation?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be huge for this next Roshan fight. Storm Spirit not having enough gold. Lifestealer also not having enough gold. Buybacks on, I think Slardar could potentially buyback in this next team fight. Really anyone. I think this next, if they can get an Aegis on Storm Spirit, oh, here we go. Global.
Wow, Global popped immediately, just gonna drop him. ROTK dead.
He actually cannot cast his ultimate when he's silenced, and I believe they have the, the upgraded
Shadowblade, Silver Edge?
Silver Edge, sorry, I was misplacing the name of the item.
That's a really cool combination, so it doesn't automatically activate that.
Yeah, so if your passives get disable on a Abaddon, you have to trigger it yourself, but if you're global silenced, you can't click it.
Wow.
So, but he buys back, there's no duel, and there's no silence.
Oh, immediate silence from Freeze, what a play. It's gonna be a grave though to keep him alive for the moment, lifting up on the Troll as well. He is inside the Monkey King's ultimate, it's gonna be dropped out of there already, but Abaddon's still in this fight, had bought back, but they're doing so much damage. Howie is gonna drop, and now looking to take this a little bit further. Freeze, he smells blood, gonna take down that Dazzle, now gonna pull in Eternal Envy. Oh, NP, it looked good, sir, for so long, but now they're gonna lose the Legion as well. Killing spree for Freeze, and the crowd is loving it.
Did you see that FY taunt?
Oh my God.
Monkey King was dancing. He's happy.
They have buyback on a couple of different heroes, but already a huge swing into the favor of VGJ as they storm high ground. Everybody buying back, but they are not dissuaded in the slightest.
No Troll Warlord for 60 seconds. Don't think they have any reason to turn around.
What a great decision by ROTK to buy back and come and contest that fight. Another silence coming out from Freeze. This guy looks like he's hacking here. My God.
And that's that. Now they have 35 seconds. I think they can go back for Roshan. ROTK pings it out. First rack's taken by VGJ.
And it was just at the drop of a hat, too. You blink and you would have missed it. How quickly they were able to take that fight. And what do you feel like it was, that big determining factor that swinged it around into their favor?
They were lacking cooldowns. No global silence, no Legion Commander duel. Troll Warlord had no BKB, so he went in, he got Eul's, he got disabled by Crystal Maiden, he got grabbed by Storm Spirit, and then he just died. He took a ton of magic damage from Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden used her entire ultimate onto the Troll, and Troll Warlord, 23k net worth, didn't really have the opportunity to auto-attack anyone because his BKB was on cooldown.
And it did really feel like, I loved the combination that we had there of Troll Warlord blinking in and getting the Silver Edge off, and then they destroy Abaddon. But the problem is that afterwards, like you said, they can't take that subsequent fight after the buyback.
It's a big problem with heroes that have these long cooldown ultimates. Silencer, Tidehunter, Enigma. You use this ultimate, the other team just buys back, and you got to be ready to make a fight here.
Oh, and just watch Freeze here. This reaction, it was pre-cast, I do believe.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and able to catch him, and that could have been one of the things that turned the fight. Press the attack and Grave used there.
That was awesome. Really, really good Orchid. Those are plays that win you team fights and win you matches.
Freeze certainly putting on a show, and that was the thing too, is that a lot of people had questions about his ability going into Starladder and going into the rest of the other events that he's been a part of, but his problem was never technical skill, it was always decision making, and with this many legends on your team, that's something that you're going to catch up on really quickly.
Yeah, we see so many teams picking up these new kind of mid players. Oh, there we go.
Well, Aegis down. Can they do it again though? I mean, they're assaulting the high ground right now. Aggressive continues to hit it. They don't really have an answer. Tier 3 down. ROTK's taking a lot of damage, and his ulti is going to be pop crushed now. Connects onto 3, but Free is deciding to go in. There's the Grave, keeping him alive. Aoi is still deep, but will not be taken down in the midst of that ulti. Another lift up. Yule Scepter is there. They decide to go back in with SVG, the 4 staffs, keeping Freeze alive. Aggressive continuing to be ran down. They have Scotty from Aoi. Oh, nice Glimmer Cape there to keep him alive for the moment. Now they pull back in the Dazzle, trying to turn. A Grave used on himself as well as the press the attack. A good stun comes in from SVG, but they've taken down Aoi. Now going to take more. MP are dropping like flies, and VGJ might just have done it. And GG is called.
It's too bad. I mean, props to VGJ. Really, really cool game. We saw someone